Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Alex of Coyote Astrology, and this video is on the full moon in Virgo coming in, but as you can see, I've gotten this out a little bit early because there is so much happening in the skies to talk about. I wanted to talk about current energies and set you up with what to expect for the full moon energies as they come in over the next week. So the actual full moon is going to be next Saturday on the 24th. But we're going to come into the present in just a second and understand what we are all feeling. I'm sure we're all feeling a lot. But first, really quickly, I want to tell you about my new course release. So this is a course that's quite different from what I normally teach. It is not so much focused on evolutionary astrology. This is a course on the astrological symbols themselves, exploring sigil magic and hermetic philosophy, the esoteric principles and occult fundamentals from the ancient mystery schools. This is going to be a really magical evening. These symbols are so powerful, and we're going to be breaking them down and musing on the philosophy behind them. So this can become kind of like the root chakra of your astrological knowledge. And after we go through the symbols and the magic behind them, we're going to move into looking at the upcoming new moon in Pisces. And I'm going to be teaching how to set intentions with lunar cycles more intentionally by actually using the astrological chart associated with the new moon. So we'll be using the next new moon as our guide, as our example. So that's why I'm launching this a bit early, and the course itself will be held on March 3rd at 6:30 p.m. There will be recordings available. So if you're interested in joining us for the evening, please email me. I'm putting it up there on the screen, coyotestarastrology@gmail.com. You can put sigil in the subject line just so I can see the emails easier. All right, everyone, thank you so much for sitting through that. I hope some of you can join us. Let's talk about what we are all feeling now. So I think what we're feeling now is a combination of a lot of Aquarius, soon to be more, to be honest, and we are still very much moving through the energies around the Chiron at the North Node. So let's talk about the Aquarius portion first. So if we direct our attention here, what we see is, well, we see a little Aquarius train, right? And this is kind of an intense train, to be honest, because we have Pluto in Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius, and Mars. Now, this is a little bit more potent than it looks even, because Venus is the ruler of the South Node in Libra, and Mars is the ruler of the North Node in Aries. So this little area is already intense because Pluto is there, making it all just extra potent and powerful. And then we have the nodal energies veiling these planets as well, which makes them ultra karmic, means that there's a lot of lessons circulating around these guys right now. And then, as if that wasn't enough already, Jupiter is forming a square to all of them, but primarily Venus and Mars at the moment. And that square is going to get stronger over the next week. So let's talk about that. As we move forward day by day, oh, today is entrance to Pisces season, by the way, but I don't even know how much we're going to feel Pisces season right now because we just have so much Aquarius, which is what we're talking about right now. So it really starts to get intense, I would say, February 21st through the 25th, which is also the escalation of our full moon energies at the same time. So that little window, 21st to the 25th, is going to be a little bit intense, guys. And that's because Jupiter will come more into square. And what that's going to do, it's going to supersize Aquarius. Anytime Jupiter squares anything, because remember, Jupiter is a magnifying glass, whenever he squares, he over magnifies. He overstimulates. And when we overstimulate Aquarius, it's kind of like there's no telling what could happen in one sense, because we know that Aquarius energy is that sort of surprising, shock and awe, turbulent energy where plans can change. We can have information hit us or a realization hit us that we weren't expecting. So there might be some unpredictable, unforeseen things that transpire in that time, in that window. But it's also going to supersize just Aquarius characteristically. And let's talk about that a little bit. So the zodiac is a story, right? And every sign evolves from the sign before it. And the sign before Aquarius is Capricorn. And Capricorn is this more rigid, conventional, traditional, sturdy, grounded archetype where things are as they are and they've been that way for a while. And it's that very salt of the earth, like this is how we do things energy. Capricorn rules governments and the laws and regulations that are supposed to help our society function consistently and well. Aquarius follows Capricorn. So Aquarius is where we break outside of convention, where we tear down the old systems and we rebel and radically shift things in a new direction that goes against societal consensus and goes against symbolically what we ourselves normally do. So to have that area supersized, Aquarius, means that on one hand, we're being encouraged to widen our scope outside of what we would traditionally think, how we would traditionally act, and how we would traditionally approach all things in a certain sense, but with a very intense focus, as you could see, around relationships, because of course Venus and Mars both have to do with our relationships to some degree, but especially in this context because of their relationship to the current nodal axis, South Node Libra, North Node Aries. So this tells me very simply that we are being encouraged to approach our relationships from a new perspective, one that is maybe outside the comfort zone that we normally exist in, maybe outside of the values that we normally have around relationships. We're being encouraged to step outside the box and try something new, meet an edge somewhere, maybe become a little bit more innovative and invite some kind of new perspective. So that in itself sounds honestly great, but the Jupiter square makes it like a little bit erratic. So, and then of course we have Pluto at the same time right now. Venus and Mars have been very close to Pluto this entire last week. So there's just been a lot coming up from the depths for us to sort through around how we feel, around our direction, around, again, our relationships, etc. And then simultaneously, we've had Chiron at the North Node, and we've talked about that in our previous video because this is going on for a few weeks. And Chiron at the North Node means that we are doing some deep, deep, vulnerable, and potentially painful healing right now. A lot of this has to do with relationships as well. And Chiron is where things are kind of like, they're awkward. It's where something is hard to look at or embarrassing or raw, but then by looking at it and kind of digging into it and healing it, we make it a strength. So there's a lot of that going on as well. So I think with the Aquarius energies coming up to this full moon, welcome them in a sense that allow yourself to be cracked open and invite in new perspective all around, because that's when genius level breakthroughs can happen. when we actually allow new information to hit us, like, yes, we broaden our mental horizons, we open ourselves spiritually, and we ascend. We come up to the next level. Hence why Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, rules higher intelligence. It breaks open our boundaries and borders and helps us elevate to a new understanding. But, you know, we're all kind of calibrating to this new energy right now, and it is kind of a lot. So if you've been feeling it, you know, that's why. And you're not alone. And you're not crazy. It's a lot right now. Let's talk about the full moon though, because that tells like a whole other part of the story. And again, we always feel new moons and full moons, the entire week leading up is really when the energies start to display themselves, not just on the day, which, by the way, the day of the full moon is February 24th, Saturday, but we'll be feeling it the entire week, those full moon energies. And this full moon is kind of interesting. It's interesting with the Aquarius energies because those are very different. Those are kind of like high energy and wild. But the full moon is I want to say a little somber, to be honest. It's very realistic, and there's a sense that we are letting go of something during this full moon. We're releasing something in kind of like a mature and non-emotional way, actually. So it's like part of me wants to be like, this moon is kind of a bum out, but at the same time, when you really look at it, I don't think that it is. I think that we're letting go of something that we need to let go of because we're kind of just ready to do it. So let's talk about why I say that. First of all, when we look at the tarot of the full moon, the first card we look at for the moon itself, the card associated with the first decan of Virgo, that is the Eight of Pentacles, which is a sun-ruled card. And this is a card that has to do with high standards, mastery, dedication, very much focused on our accomplishment and skills and striving to be our best or the best version of ourselves. This very Virgoic-like concentration. So you can see on this card, there's this little raven who's chipping away or whatever he's doing, engraving this pentacle, and he's focused. He's hard at work. He's working towards something. And the sun card would suggest like this is something we need to do for the betterment of ourselves so we can shine and feel vital and alive. And then the other card associated with the sun side of the full moon, which is the first decan of Pisces, where we actually see a lot of energy when we look at the chart. We've got Mercury, Sun, and Saturn in this first decan of Pisces. So this is the Eight of Cups card. This is a Saturn-ruled card, so it's a pretty serious card. And this is a card about letting go. It can often mean the end of something or the end of a relationship, walking away. This is a very like, I'm finally actually over this card. And you can see this raven is turned away from the cups. He's freaking over the cups. He's over whatever this emotional thing is. He's looking out at the moon and the mountains. He's ready for new pastures, ready to get the hell out of here. And so you can see when you put these two cards together, there's this sense of like needing to move on, needing to walk away, because it's time to focus on things that are going to build you up and help you in your more grounded material sense. It's going to be healthier for you to let this go, but there's a sense of maturity around walking away. You see that? It's kind of like you got the grounded Virgo energies to discern and analyze from a rational place of like, you know what, when I really think about what's best for me, I think that there's something else out there right now. And then when we come back to the chart and we consider all the Aquarius, and Aquarius is very objective and doesn't care about your feelings. It's very much like, just get a bird's eye view of the situation, detach from it a little bit, detach from your feelings, and see, you know, what's really going on. So yes, we do have the Piscean vibes this full moon. There's a lot of it. But Saturn's here grounding in a little bit. So it's not that the magic's not there. I think that there's a possibility to come into the more grounded areas of Pisces, which would be like unconditional love and compassion. I'm feeling a lot of compassion in this chart. Like, I'm human, you're human, we're figuring this out. Understanding that everybody's kind of like doing their best, but ultimately there are some things ending at this time during this full moon, and it looks like they're things that are wrapping up because it's not only time, but it's just what's best for us and our health. Check out what part of your chart the first decan of Virgo Pisces hits for you. That's going to give you a little bit more of an idea of what this might involve. It may not even be a relationship. It may be a situation that you're ready to kind of tie up loose ends with. But overall, it's an interesting week that we have ahead of us. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what this one illuminates. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and a share. I really appreciate it. I am taking readings right now. If you're interested in booking a natal chart reading with me, you're more than welcome to do so. You can find all of the information on my readings and courses that I have available for purchase at my website, coyotestarastrology.com. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I will talk to you soon and have a beautiful week. Bye for now.